Trench Warfare by Jonathan Meggitt and Will Allen. Trench layout. Trenches often had 2 to 3 layers, with oftentimes underground barracks. They also had a raised area with a machine gun called a machine gun nest. Barbed wire was often placed in no man's land between 2 enemy trenches. Life in the trenches. Conditions were very poor. They were often wet and muddy on the ground. Rats often spread infections throughout the trenches. Lots of casualties were caused by the sicknesses.
So, chemical warfare played an important part. There were many chemicals that were invented during the time that were deadly to humans, and they were often used by spreading by biplanes and grenades and artillery. Mustard gas was very important because it was probably one of the most devastating, especially to the Russians, because that was one of the most effective against them. Mustard gas was first invented by Germans, and some other gases that were also invented during the time were chlorine and phosgen. So, yeah.
Stalemate. Stalemates were common and made the war last a lot longer than it should have. This is due to the fact that no one wanted to cross no man's land. No man's land was full of barbed wire and peppered with artillery and machine gun fire from both sides.
Tanks also played a very important part, as they could crush barbed wire, and they were oftentimes resistant to bullets, and also they could roll straight over trenches. They also had some pretty good artillery, and as you can tell by the side gun right there, that they would be probably pretty effective. Machine guns also played an important part, because the machine gun was invented by the Brits. And during the time when they used machine guns, they were often placed in nests, as Will said earlier, machine gun nests. And they basically peppered the no man's land a lot with fire. I mean, like, that was the main fear, was that you would get shot up by this thing. As you can tell by the lots of rounds going into there, that they would fire pretty quickly. Okay, so the importance of trench warfare in all of this conflict, as you can tell, we've explained what trench warfare was and what it's about, but the importance of it was that it basically created how long, the war was, because war became longer by stalemates. Then also it caused a lot more casualties because we had a lot of deadly stuff going on, such as, chemical warfare and tanks and machine guns. It caused a lot of devastation.
Bibliography. We used Wikipedia, firstworldwar.com, Encyclopedia, Britannica, and about.com for our research.